Welcome back, everyone, to another Let's Play in History. We're going to talk about the election of 1920, probably 1924 as well, and do the very next episode. Let's get it.
At first, it seemed just like old times. The gang was back.
I bet despite those big hands, Murray's probably the best gamer.
But little by little, we learned that Murray's heart just wasn't in it. Without the guru's permission to give up on his Dreamtime training, he'd never really feel comfortable returning to the gang. We knew we needed to help him out. So, we packed up our things, whipped up some quick disguises, and headed for the Australian outback. Along the way, Murray told us story after story.
Who knew Sly was such a metalhead?
Apparently, this guru of his was capable of fantastic feats. He used the Dreamtime to blend perfectly into his surroundings.
The guru.
Mental control over the weak-minded. If even half the stories were true, then this was a guy I just had to meet. Our gang needed to grow its ranks for a chance to get inside the Cooper Vault. And this guru, this outback mystic, was looking like the best recruit we could have ever asked for. However...
Well, anyways, while all this is happening, and this is playing out, we're going to talk about the election of 1920, which is between the Republican candidate Warren G. Harding with his running mate, one of my favorite presidents of all time, Mr. Calvin Coolidge, and the Democratic nominee James Cox with FDR as his vice presidential running mate. Yeah, FDR. Now, a lot of things have happened during Wilson's second term as president. The U.S. obviously goes to war during World War I. And Spanish flu, yada yada. What I find interesting is that I think a lot of people are doing a lot of revisionist history with the Spanish flu. Not saying that it didn't kill a bunch of people or wasn't as disastrous as it was, but I do believe that, at least to a certain degree, it's like, okay, like, yeah, like a lot of people, died, and it's probably on par with all the stuff that happened today during COVID and all that, to be honest, except that people still worked, and I already know how to play as Murray.
The miners have really torn this place up looking for opals. Watch your step, they're sure to get rough defending their claim.
I'm mainly saying this only because of the fact that most of our textbooks really don't talk about it. Not to say that it wasn't such a big thing. I think it was much more disastrous for Europe more than really any other country, to be honest with you, or any other continent.
No problem, pal. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Anybody you call master must be a heck of a guy.
But that's happening. Spanish flu, a bit of an economic recession and depression because of the war. We're not selling excessive armaments to Europe anymore. Aw. Come on. Keep going. Let me destroy your little family. Not to mention the other issues with... What the... Oh, come on, game. But not to mention the other issues with paying a lot of these veterans. A lot of them coming back trying to get jobs because a lot of them were very young men who were trying to...
Sorry, pal. This cave's empty. Got any other ideas where it might be?
Who would have been in the workforce, but then a lot of ladies took over, and a lot of the older people came in, and people are just trying to fight for jobs. And it's just a compounding effect, unfortunately, when you have a high population uh, workforce with a limited amount of jobs due to an economic recession. It just creates a mini depression that happens, which creates a lot of dissatisfaction with the Woodrow Wilson and the Democrats and basically his administration. It's ultimately aided or not aided by the fact that he's really pushing forth a lot of international stuff against, a lot of the things that basically he's focusing on international policy versus domestic is the biggest problem, I would say. Give me what's in your back pocket. Is that supposed to be a dingo? No eating babies, please.
This place is packed with wall hooks. The miners must use them to haul up their drills. Looks like you're going to get some rock climbing practice.
It's a good thing I'm playing this game right after Sly 2. Because I'd be a little bit rusty if I hadn't done that.
Sorry, Murray. Nobody's home. By the looks of it.
But a lot of things are going on. Democrats are just caving into themselves. There's a lot of problems with Woodrow Wilson, who's had like 17 different strokes, and they're hiding it from the public.
Where do you think they might have taken him?
They got him! My master's a goner!
Maybe we should get Bentley on the line.
And Republicans had largely rebounded, although the election of 1920 for the Republican National Convention and the nominating process is really convoluted, and it just seems like a bunch of backroom deals, and Warren G. Harding's basically just the anointed candidate.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Although he has many skeletons in his closet, I guess he has a lot of pull with people, and he's basically just the guy. And they chose a bit of a, I don't want to say an outsider, but in Calvin Coolidge, they definitely chose someone who's a bit of a compromise in a lot of ways candidate, where he'll appease the more anti-establishment part of the party, if that makes any sense. Is this gonna stop, or is it just gonna keep going? It's just gonna keep going. Crap. Come on. He's gonna see me?
These miners have no respect for the Aboriginal sacred sites. They're drilling into everything. Ayers Rock, Kings Canyon, Wave Rock, the cultural
Crap.
influence, the temple, sickening.
You don't know where I'm at. Really? Now this is just getting silly. Come on. Oh, Lord. Oh, pff. Is there any other way I can get up there? Because this is just getting kind of stupid. Well, at least I got a ring out of it. I don't get what I'm supposed to do. I can't reach that. It's not letting me reach that. I don't... It's literally not letting me. I don't... If I'm not supposed to be doing that, then how else am I supposed to get up there? Lordy. See, I can't. I'm hitting circle. It's not letting me. There's got to be another way, because this is not good for my mental health, people. I feel like I'm just going crazy. Come on. Not gonna make it there. I mean, look, there has to be another way. If that's the only way, then I don't think I can actually beat this game. Because I literally can't complete a freaking mission because of that. There's gotta be another way. I'm supposed to get up there. This is just not fair. I'm gonna have to restart this mission. I don't think there's any extra things I can get that are gonna help me. I can't reach that. It just won't let me. Okay, we'll try one more time. It's not even that far. Oh, now it does. Now, okay. Whatever, game. Okay, I can't mess this one up. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Pretty sure the game was just like, alright, we'll make it easier and simpler for you.
You must be the guru. I'm a good friend of Murray's. He's come asking to be released from his training. Sure, I'll just bust you out of here and we'll go talk to him. You seriously won't leave without your gear? Yeah, I can see that the miners have really done a number on your land here. As for your walking staff and moonstone, me and my gang have a real talent for stealing back things that were wrongfully taken.
But let's just say this is just pure dissatisfaction with the Democratic Party. And I would say specifically with Woodrow Wilson, he's just not going to be remembered very fondly for the next several decades until some revisionists come in and say that Woodrow Wilson did a lot of positive things for the country. But he's not fondly remembered here, I'll put it this way. And I'll explain it later, but Warren G. Harding does win this election with about 400 electoral votes versus Cox's 120, and 16 million votes versus 9 million for Cox. And the biggest reason is low voter turnout, which in the previous election, let's say there was about 60 to 70% voter turnout. In this election, it's barely under 50%, just to put in perspective, because the country had almost doubled in size in terms of population. And in particular, New York as an example, because now New York has went from being 35 electoral votes to 45. California's getting a lot of people. Pennsylvania's getting a lot of people, especially in the industrial section of the country. But yeah, that's just an example. And there were a lot of things that were going against Cox, mainly being not the most well-known candidates, not really a rising star by most people's imaginations. And I would say they were kind of going to their bench, if that makes any sense of the word. Kind of like today in a lot of ways, except today's bench is very, very empty. I'll take it. Where am I going? Suck it. Is there need a rock to climb this, or? So I'm gonna have to use that then. Whatever game. Just refuse to make it easy, don't you? No. This would be much easier. But at least their bench was up and coming. If you want a baseball reference, I'm a Padres fan. It's basically they just had Tatis. Now you have Jackson Merrill, who's a really unique up and coming player. Not quite there yet, but who knows what can happen next season or two, or next election or two. Wink, wink. And this is basically what they're doing. They're going to someone like Jackson Merrill versus someone established. And the problem with him, too, is all their popular guys are largely just not there anymore. Wilson had pretty much destroyed all of his opponents to a certain degree, and gave the bad face of the Democratic Party. And there's a lot of infighting, too, because there's different degrees on where the party is at this point. because you still have the solid South, and you have the more liberal base of the Democratic Party. A lot of those Democrats, by the way, of the liberal base were former Republicans, just completely dissatisfied with the party itself. Oop. Oop. Nope. Okay. Almost ended very badly there. What's the point of those drills? I don't get that.
I'm not into tearing up the environment or anything, but these caves are rich with opals. I can see why these miners are so driven.
Crap. Crap. As you can see, I could never be a good thief. Really? Wait. There we go. Took way longer than I wanted it to.
Time to take you back to your rightful owner. These miners are smarter than they look. They booby-trapped the moonstone. It looks like a light-sensitive detonator. If I can get it outside and into the sunlight, it should power down.
Running, 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 running. Bam! Huzzah!
The Guru's walking staff must be hidden in their other cave complex. I marked the entrance in your binocular.
Now, what Harding and Republicans also campaigned on, which is what has been remembered historically as this idea of returning to normalcy post-war, well, pretty much everything. Crap. Come on. Dang it. Can I... Is that enough of a height for me? Nope. How on God's green earth did I get up there?
These caves have no ambient light whatsoever.
Okay, now where do I get this stick?
Node is providing enough illumination to let you see. Watch your step. These mine pits are deep.
Why is this game really glitching out on me? Wait, what? Crap. Oh, come on. God forbid any of these are timed.
Wonder what's so special about this staff. Another booby trap for a stick? These guys are paranoid. And from the sound of it, they've called in reinforcements. Nothing like a horde of angry dingoes to make things...
They are dingoes. Crap. Oh, I'm about to die. Crap, I'm dead. Well, I probably should have expected that. Oh, that was very lucky. Come on, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't know what I'm doing. Oh. Now, was this election competitive, though, I think is the big question. It depends on how you want to look at it. Republicans had basically just destroyed and taken most of the Midwest, the working class Midwest. Obviously, they took back a lot of the Northeast and the West. Pretty much, they just dominated. Could this have been competitive? Potentially. Highly unlikely, but potentially. Again, it just depends on how you want to look at it. There was, I would say, a relative path had Democrats had campaigned probably a little bit better and less on the foreign policy stuff, but more for things that they will fix. Like, we hear you, we understand and see the problems that have come about because of these policies, and we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we fix a lot of these things. It's not like this wasn't an unwinnable election. Highly unlikely. If you had to put polls up, it's probably Harding by about 2 or 3. I'll put it that way. At least in the early goings, it looked like it was going to be a much more competitive election than it ultimately ended up being. Let me see if I can go buy some stuff. That'll help. That's fine. because my problem is like a lot of people just look at like, oh, the final vote totals, and it's like, oh, this wasn't even competitive whatsoever, and it's like, well, it's not necessarily true. Just because they've won, 6-7 million more total votes doesn't mean that they like won, if that makes any sense. Now this is a tough one to argue in fairness, but that is, the whole point I'm trying to make is that that's not the entire truth of what the matter is. Now out west they did decisively win. California they won literally 2-1. Colorado they won almost 2-1. Some of the northeast states they won 2-1. The solid South stayed pretty south and Democrat.
What are you talking about? You used the Aboriginal ball form to great effect back in Venice. You'll be proud of you.
Illinois is 2-1. Indiana's 2-1. Iowa's 2-1. Kansas is about 2-1.
Help me? I'm sure
Because the Midwest was just completely dissatisfied, and had they campaigned a little better, they probably could have taken back some of those states.
right up to it.
Okay, Bentley. Caves ahoy!
I
And this was a tough election to try and argue that point, but
throw you rocks to destroy those stalagmites. Of course, throwing guards will work too.
Big Man Murray. Oh. Crap. You better give me some freaking help, bozo.
According to the mine's hydraulic flow chart, the door ahead appears to be sealed shut.
Then I'll just bash it in! What's the good of having fists if you can't smack steel doors with them?
It's too thick, even for you. Though to get through, we'll have to overload the pressure in this piston.
You want me to punch it? I can do that.
Use your aboriginal ball form to bounce on top of the piston and smash it down. Build up enough hydraulic pressure, and the door is sure to open.
Beautiful.
Piston beware! You're about to be bounced!
Boom.
Yes! Eat it, piston sucker!
Throw you away. But yeah, my point being that I do believe this election was at least semi-winnable for Democrats.
Another locked door.
Where are they going to win? Depends on how you want to look at it, but
Overload all three pistons at the same time.
there was a pathway to win. I think it's ultimately my biggest fundamental point. Was it going to be easy? No. Heavens no.
I did it! 3 against 1, and I still took you piston chumps to school!
And this is why the Electoral College is very important, and why we don't have a popular vote system in this country.
Size of that guy! He must be jacked up by that mask of Dark Earth.
But basically, Warren G. Harding wins, Cox loses, and we're on to the election of 1924.
Probably more aggressive, too.
I can take him. My righteous quest to see the guru won't be stopped by some big stupid freak in a mask.
Even if you won, you'd have nowhere to go. The door through has an electric deadbolt. This whole area runs off the same circuit. Even the drills are linked up.
Then I'll throw this clown into the drill.
That might break the circuit. Give it a try.
Prepare for some fury. If I don't die.
Remember, press triangle button to uppercut the miner into the air, and then circle button to grab it. Keep it up. You did some damage.
Crap.
One drill down, 2 to go. Just one left.
I like them apples.
Cow! That mask can run. Why can't you that?
Intriguing. Press on to the guru. He'll have some answers. The door should be unlocked now that the drill circuit is broken.
Now the election of 1924. The election of Calvin Coolidge with his running mate, Mr. Charles Dawes, and John Davis, the Democratic nominee, with his running mate, Charles W. Bryan. Long story short, Calvin Coolidge wins the election with 382 electoral votes versus Beck's 360. Popular vote margin being 15 million versus 8 million. There's a large third party, which is, I think, the Progressive Party or Populist Party, that takes about 20% of the vote share. They get about 13 electoral votes. They're running Mr. Robert La Follette, a very complicated politician historically, and his running mate's Burton Wheeler. This is a very interesting election, so some background information. Harding passes away because of a heart attack. Coolidge ascends to the presidency. Boosts this entire country up because of his policies, because he is by far one of the single most conservative, libertarian style presidents we've ever had in the history of this country. Not even by a close margin at this point. Like an actual, I'm gonna do like the conservative things, and like this guy was such a badass. It's like, oh, we have a income tax. It's like, why do we need income tax for? Let's drop it down to 0%. One of the few presidents to actually ever do that, which helps boost the economy. End up coming out of a recession, depression, into probably the biggest economic boom this country has seen in a very, very long time, known as the Roaring 20s. GDP is through the roof. People are working. People are happy. This is around the time that, like, Henry Ford's doing his thing. So, like, a whole bunch of things are going the right way. Whoa, monster truck.
Oh, yeah!
I have an idea of how we might drive the miners out of Ayers Rock. But for my plan to work, we'll need to force the drill on this rig deeper into the ground.
Okay, Bentley, you've got my interest. Though it looks like
But John Davis, some background. He was a senator from West Virginia. I think he was a part of Woodrow Wilson's administration. Was a diplomat for Great Britain.
sure to push out the miners.
Sounds like a job for the furry. One question though. How do I capture scorpions with a truck?
Murray,
Well, is equipped with a
Bentley, bro.
supercharged e-brake, which is
Do not mess with them. I'll put it that way.
on the forward
Do not.
time it correctly.
It's not in your best interest to do so.
The mining that's built into the bed of the truck.
Okay, Bentley, bring on the scorpion.
Not so fast.
Now there is a rise in progressivism and progressive policies, and really just a push for much more of the working class people, unions, etc., those types of groups, which are usually a part of the Democratic Party at this point, are now largely splintering the Democratic Party, which is a big reason why Calvin Coolidge wins by such a decisive margin.
Hold the X button to go forward and the square button to drive in reverse. When you are going, you'll need to trap those red scorpions, Murray. Use the R1 button
Okay.
to build up some speed.
Whoa! Headstand! Here we go!
Nice work. Looks like more are being driven to the surface.
You're mine! Yeah!
Oh god. Sorry, Red.
Come on! Roll it! That's it!
Whoa. This thing's a little wonky. I'm going way too early. I'm pressing it way too early. Crap.
That's 5 reds in the bag. Keep it up.
Yes!
Nope. Dang it.
Tumble! Oh boy!
Murray, hang tough for a minute. My sensors are showing a drop-off in underground movement. We'll have to drill deeper to keep the scorpions coming out. Slide, you'll have to climb to the top of the drill tower and override the depth control system.
Okay, Bentley, I'm on my way.
Crap. I love how I can just hit circle and it doesn't even latch on to anything.
It's working. Wait a minute. It's draining the water around the tower. Murray, you'll have to rely on squishing scorpions to keep
Oh,
your
poop.
tires cool from here on out.
No problem, Bentley. I've totally got the hang of it now. Oh yeah!
What the heck?
Roll it!
I might want to hurry.
Cha-ching!
Come on, red scorpions, where are you?
Here we go!
About to say, better got that one.
Oh boy!
Come on. Come on.
That's it. Yes. Whoa.
Oh, Lord.
Bother trapping the blue ones. They're only good to cool down your tires.
Tumble. Yeah.
Don't bother trapping the blue ones. They're only good to cool down your tires.
Headstand.
Come on. Boom.
Here we go.
Great job, Murray. Now back that truck full of
That's election. Republicans are just popular. They have total control of everything.
Giant scorpions.
They pretty much just dominate in those elections as well. Majority in the House, majority in the Senate, I believe, too.
nice teamwork, guys.
And a lot of these progressive-minded individuals who wanted things better for the working-class people end up voting Republican because of the policies of Calvin Coolidge. The South stays pretty solid, although there is a unique shift in terms of the vote totals that are going towards Calvin Coolidge. A lot of states are just overwhelmingly competitive, though. What's the next one? Bentley Mission. Come on. Certain states that are somewhat contested but not even remotely close. Idaho, California, Colorado, Connecticut. All pretty much solid vote margins for the Republican Party, but they could have been competitive had things been a little bit different. Had the situation been a little bit more, well, just different. Had the economic situation and the reality's been just a little bit different. Can make a case for that. I gotta get up there. How do I get over there? Now, seriously, how the heck do I get over there? Nope, that's not at all what I wanted. That was the exact opposite of what I wanted. I have no idea where I'm going. Oh, looks like that is the only way up. Okay. Good to know, people. Calvin Coolidge probably would have been up by, like, honestly, 10, 15 points in the polls. Even some liberal-leaning people would have said Coolidge is probably going to win this by at least 5 points minimum. I mean, he's got all these states on lockdown. Illinois being a big one. New York, he wins very decisively. A bunch of the newer states that are admitted to the union, he wins, although it is a lot more competitive, like Montana, New Mexico, Arizona, Oregon to a certain degree. But he's got this election down to a T. It's just not even close. Coolidge is just the guy, and shows that, you know, being economically conservative has its perks.
I love it when you do that. What? Where'd he go? Master, you're the greatest. That jump's totally full. Once his back is turned, ram him into
That's a little hard to control. Not gonna lie.
awesomeness.
Where's your underwear, bro?
These miners who's boss. Head for the drills. I guess Bentley's found a weak spot.
Look at this man run. You don't care.
Your talents are impressive, Guru. Yeah. I hear you. Those drills are tearing up the landscape. They appear to be fragile at the base. Ram a guard into it, and the whole apparatus should break apart. Oh yeah, some things never change.
Okay, now I gotta find guards that are gonna use their heads to destroy these drills.
What the? Sweet moves, Master.
Of course, now guards show up here.
Down it goes. Where'd he go? Yeah, these guys are hosed.
Where's the nearest guard? Oh, crap. And like I said about competitive elections, a lot of these elections over the next century are going to be... They could have been competitive had they not splintered, had they just united behind one candidate, which is why we have the two-party system, I think, now more than ever, is because at the very least you can get your guy, or at least the guy closest enough to your preferred candidate to actually make the changes necessary, or get the wins necessary that'll actually allow you to get pretty darn close. Come on, buddy, you're almost there.
That grinder's tearing up Wave Rock. I know, it's awful. However, the link generator is weak, easily destroyed, provided you can jump a few guards over there and ram it.
Okay.
I must be dreaming.
Wee.
You're the master! Master?
Boom.
That machine is crying hot, oily tears from your righteous blow!
The Murray likes it.
Master, you've done it! The miner's machines are silent! The Dreamtime spirits rejoice!
Boom.
The Guru has agreed to join our team, provided we can rid his homeland of the dingo miners and deal with the Mask of Dark Earth. A tall order, but we're up for it. First,
Ooh,
we'll
the big
eliminate
alligator.
some local wildlife to help thin out the miners' ranks. Murray will feed our foes to a local giant crocodile. With some luck, he'll take a liking to the taste of miners and chow down on them left and right.
Oh yeah, Murray gets to beat up some people.
Guys where they live, or at least relax. If we can clear them out of this lemonade bar, it'll be a crippling blow to their morale. They'll be begging to go home. And finally, Sly'll use some mining equipment to drill for radioactive oil deep beneath the dried lake bed. Trust me, it's the key to getting rid of the Mask of Dark Earth.
Alright, everyone. Hope you guys liked this part. Like and subscribe. God bless. Y'all rock. Y'all have a good one. We'll continue this soon. Any questions, tips, or tricks, or things I can do better, just let me know. Later, y'all.